Good evening, all. May I now request Vice President, Treasurer of GSTPM, Alok Mehta.
Good evening, friends. I'll welcome all of you for the last lecture of today's coaching class, and that is on the refund of the GST, which will be taken by Advocate Sejal Shah. I think before we can start this topic, I really appreciate the effort taken by convener Mahesh Marolkar and Chairman Sunil Kushlani sir for arranging such a very nice, encouraging and very innovative coaching class on online series through webinar. And I hope that everybody must have enriched themselves by this regularly updating the coaching class. I also would like to thank our team member Sujoy Mehta, Hiral Shah, and also Sejal Shah for coordinating this webinar through coaching class in entire of the 7 days. I also thankful to our President Dinesh Tamre sir that he has supported right from the beginning for arranging this coaching class. And also thankful to all participants who have continuously from last 7 days on the Zoom. They have taken the knowledge and they have enriched the knowledge and they gained the experience and we can say gained the experience and knowledge from the coaching class. So thankful to all speakers of the coaching class also. So thanks to all of you. Thanks Mahesh. Thanks Kushlani once again for the effort which you have taken. And really it's one of the history of the GSTPM that coaching class is now online. So this will be further will take further also in the coming year and all. Mahesh, right to you again. Kindly take the proceeding.
Yeah, thank you, Alok Bhai. Thank you for your blessings. May I request Chairman of the GSTPM Coaching Class Committee, Sunil Kushlani ji, who is also the Joint Secretary of GSTPM, to say a few words. Sunil Kushlani.
Thank you, Mahesh. Good evening to all. On behalf of GSTPM, I welcome you all for this 7th session of the coaching class. Today we have with us ever-charming lady, Advocate Sejal Shah with us, who is to speak on the refund under GST Act. President Dinesh Tamre, Treasurer Alok Mehta, and Mr. Raj Shah, Vice President, are our moral boosters, and they have been regularly attending this coaching class. I thank them for being supportive. Now I request Mahesh to take charge. Thank you much.
Yeah. Thank you. I welcome our committee member Jatin Cheda also. May I request our committee member Hiral Shah to introduce today's speaker, Sejal Shah, please.
Thank you, Mahesh ji. It is a pleasure that to introduce such a speaker with us. As Sunil ji said, we have the charming lady with us, a practicing advocate who is
ever charming. Don't miss that.
I correct myself. Working as practicing as an advocate in the field of taxation, direct and indirect, has been specializing in GST and handling tax matters up to high court level, tax litigation matters. Currently working after gaining experience at Ramesh M. Shah and Company, Chartered Accountants, after completing LLB from Government Law College. After completing B.Ed and MBA, she has had a brief stint as an educationist with the Aditya Birla World Academy, Mumbai, chairperson of Tax Foundation Academy, which is training professionals and students in the field of taxation. A member of various subcommittees of our own association, that is GSTPM, and the secretary of Jain Advocates Federation. Speaker at various seminars organized by GSTPM and Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum. Contributor to the beginner's book on GST law to be published by GSTPM. Column writer on taxation laws in the monthly magazine of the Bombay Brokers Forum, that is BSE, Bombay Stock Exchange Brokers Forum Views. And apart from all these, I would like to add to the ever charming lady that she is also an athlete who is participating in various marathons all across the country. It has been a pleasure introducing you, madam. Over to you. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Welcome.
Thank you, Hiral bhai. This is a good, even we were not knowing her. She is a marathon runner. Good. We welcome Sejal madam and kindly take the charge, please.
Thank you so much, Hiral Shah and Maheshji, and for such a warm welcome. It is my privilege to be floating on this platform of coaching classes today, which is an online thing. First of all, I would like to thank the President of GSTPM, Tamde, Vice President Raj Shah, Treasurer Alok Mehta, Chairman of the Coaching Class Committee, the always smiling Sunil Kushnali ji, Convener of Coaching Class Committee Mahesh ji, and fellow members Sujay Mehta, Jatin Chheda, and thank you CA Hiral Shah for all your support. So before I begin, thank you so much for this opportunity that is given to me today. So let's begin. Today I'm going to speak on refund under GST. Is the screen visible?
No.
Share the screen.
Yeah, now?
Not yet.
Have you clicked on share screen at the bottom?
Yeah, I have done that. Yes. Now is it visible?
Yes, it is. F5.
Sejal madam.
Yes.
Before starting, Dinesh Tamde, our president, has just arrived. Dinesh ji?
Yes.
Please. We have already started, but as a last day, we thought that we'll hear from you. Please.
Yeah, sorry that I could not join on time because I was on the call as I'm receiving several calls that before lockdown, several assessment orders had been passed and now recovery will be started. And therefore, people are asking whether we are making any representation to stop the recoveries and all those things were going on. And therefore, I was speaking to the commissioner office regarding these things. And therefore, I could not come on time on the webinar. Sorry for joining you all late. I congratulate Mahesh for successfully completing the online coaching class. This is going to be a last session of this coaching class. Kushlani for taking initiative in organizing definitely coaching class. And I congratulate all of you for and thank you for participating in this coaching class. Once again, I request all of you to please contribute for the noble cause which association has started of donating PPE kits to doctors and masks to the policemen. With this, I request Mahesh to please take charge. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks Dinesh ji, President of our GSTPM. Because of your all the guidance and support, we could do this very well. May I now request Sejal madam to... And one more announcement that all the lectures which are recorded, that will be uploaded in the YouTube. So those who have missed any of the earlier lectures, they GSTPM. And thanks to Sejal madam.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, President.
Thank you.
Okay, so talking about refund under GST. I think everybody, as Dinesh ji rightly said right now, a lot of recovery proceedings are being held. So people are rightly waiting for their refunds, in fact. When the clients have been calling, refund kab aayega? So let us see all that comes under this refund thing. Now, timely refund mechanism is essential in tax administration as it facilitates trade through the release of blocked funds for working capital, expansion, and modernization of existing business. Refund is a must. The provisions pertaining to refund contained in the GST law aim to streamline and standardize the refund procedures under the GST regime. Now, under the GST regime, there will be a standardized form for making any claim for refunds. The claim and the sanctioning procedure will completely be online and it is always time bound, which is a marked departure from the earlier time consuming and cumbersome procedure. Now, further provisions relating to refund are more transparent as compared to provisions contained in the earlier indirect tax regime. So now here we are going to talk all about the legal provisions, refund of tax, refund scenarios under GST, refund procedures, what is the time limit for refund, how is refund being withheld, the provisions of interest on delayed refunds, consumer welfare fund, and the recent amendments. So now these are the situations in which the refunds would arise. Now the first thing is, from what all places would you get your refund or whatever you are eligible to? Now, firstly, it is excess in the cash balance in the electronic ledger due to inadvertence or mistake. Like by mistake, if you have deposited some extra money and then you want to claim of that. Exports, including SEZ developer of goods or services under claim of rebate or refund of accumulated credit of tax when goods or services are exported. So when you do your exports, then there is a refund on deemed exports. There is refund on finalization of provisional assessment. Refund of pre-deposit for filing the appeal, which is including the refund arising in pursuance of an appellate authority's order. Like you have already paid the taxes for a particular case and then you have gone in for an appeal for the refund. Then the other scenarios where refund would arise is payment of duty or tax during investigation, but finally you are set free from the liability. The next is refund for tax payment on purchases by UN bodies, supplies to CSD canteens, the paramilitary forces canteens and all that. You are eligible for that also if you're supplying to these UN bodies. Then refund of carry forward input tax credit. Refund on account of year-end or volume-based incentives provided by the supplier through credit notes. And lastly, it is tax refund for international tourists. Now, as per the legal provisions, the different sections that are under the CGST Act 2017, Chapter 11 deals with refund of tax, and these are the following sections. Section 54 defines refund of tax, interest on tax and other amounts paid. Then 55 relates to refund in certain other cases. Section 56, interest payable on delayed refunds. 57 on consumer welfare fund. 58 on utilization of fund. Section 77 for tax which is wrongfully collected and paid to central state government. Like suppose you had to pay IGST and then you have paid CGST or SGST instead of that. We will look at all these sections in the later slides. Now, Chapter 6 also deals with refund of tax. Now, Section 15, it is refund of integrated tax paid on supply of goods to tourists who are leaving from India. Now, suppose Virat Kohli is going for an international match and he is doing some shopping at the duty free. He will not avail the refund. But similarly, if Shane Warne has visited India and he is going back and he is buying something from the duty free, or the shops which are outside who levies the GST, then he will be able to claim the refund on that. Now, for this purpose, the definition of tourist means a person not normally resident in India who enters India for a stay of not more than 6 months for legitimate or non-immigrant purpose. The next is section 16, which deals with zero rated supply. Now, zero rated supply shall have the meaning assigned to it. Now, as per section 16(1) of the IGST Act, zero rated supply means any of the following supplies of goods or services or both. Namely, if it is for the export of goods or services or both, or it is a supply of goods or services to a special economic zone developer or special economic zone unit, which henceforth we're going to name it here as SEZ units. Then section 19 talks about tax wrongfully collected and paid to central government or state government. Now, what is refund? Refund refers to any amount that is due to any person from the tax administration, whether it is CGST, from the central government, state government, or union territory, or SAS, or IGST, interest, penalty, fees, etc. Now, refund of tax includes the tax paid, interest on such tax paid, and any other amount paid by any person. Refund includes refund of, now, tax paid on zero rated supplies of goods and services, on inputs or input services which are used in the making of such zero rated supplies. Tax on the supply of goods and services which are regarded as deemed exports. Now, situations. What are the situations where refund would arise? Now, first of all, let's talk about balance in electronic cash ledger. Now, in this case, there is a balance in the electronic cash ledger. So, an acknowledgement in the prescribed form shall be made available to the applicant through the common portal, and it is filed electronically, which is clearly indicating the date of filing of the claim for the refund. Then there is ITC accumulation due to export without payment of duty. Then finalization of provisional assessment. Now, if you have gone for a provisional assessment, you do not know what is your tax liability and you have paid the taxes. You have paid extra taxes. Suppose you have paid 2 lakhs as taxes, and finally when the assessment is done and the order is passed and there the officers assessed you only for 1,50,000, that's your tax. So for that 50,000 balance, you can claim a refund of that. Now, refund to be considered only in terms of section 54(8) of CGST Act 2017, irrespective of anything contrary contained in any order, decree, judgment issued by the court or appellate forums. Then refund for tax payment on transactions by UN bodies. Yes. As we saw it before, then tax refund for international tourists. Now, the refund procedure and the time limit. Let us look at the time limit for claiming the refund of any tax. Now, the time limit for claiming refund of any tax and interest, for that you have to make an application before the expiry of 2 years from the relevant date. Now, time limit for claiming refund by UN or other MFI is 6 months from the last day of the quarter in which the supply was received. Now, relevant date. How do you define relevant date? Now, suppose if goods are exported out of India by sea or air. Now, the date on which the ship or the aircraft leaves India, that will be the relevant date. Now, in case if the goods are exported by land, say the goods are going to Nepal, then the date on which such goods pass the frontiers. Or if the goods are exported by post, the date of dispatch of goods by the post office concerned to a place outside India. So these are the relevant dates. Now, deemed export. Deemed export is the date on which, for which the relevant date for deemed export will be the date on which the return relating to such deemed exports is furnished. Now, deemed exports means, first of all, what do you mean by deemed exports? Deemed exports means such supplies of goods as may be notified under section 147. Now, 147 stipulates that the government may, on the recommendation of the council, notify certain suppliers of goods as deemed exports, where goods supplied do not leave India and payment of such supplies is received either in Indian rupees or in convertible foreign exchange, if such goods are manufactured in India. Now, services exported out of India. What would be the relevant date for that? Now, the date on which the receipt of payment in convertible foreign exchange, where the supply of services completed to the receipt of such payment. I mean, on the day where you have received the payment in foreign exchange, or the issue of invoice where payment for the service has been received in advance prior to the date of issue. So that will be the date of your service exported. Even if you have received an advance and the service you are providing it later, that the date you have received the advance will be the date of service exported. Now, tax becomes refundable as a consequence of judgment. Now, any judgment is passed, decree is passed, or an order is passed by the appellate authorities. That date of communication, when you have received that order on hand, that will be the date, that will be the relevant date. Then the relevant date for your refund of unutilized input tax credit will be the end of the financial year in which such claim or refund arises. Now, if tax is paid provisionally under this act, then the date of adjustment of tax after the final assessment, that will be your relevant date. Now, in the case a person other than a supplier, the date of receipt of goods or services of both by such person. And in any other case, it will be the date of payment of tax. The day you pay your taxes, that will be the relevant date. So 2 years from that, you can take your refunds. Now, time limit for sanction of refund is 60 days from the receipt of application. Now, as per section 54. Now, any claim for refund on account of zero rated supply, that is provisional refund, they give you 90% of your claim, which shall be, now that they have also come up with the thing that it shall be granted within 7 days from the date of acknowledgement. And the balance 10% that remains, that will be given to you after doing an assessment. So once your papers are submitted to the assessing officer, and then they will verify through all your transactions and verify that this refund is actually eligible to you. So then they will depart the balance 10%. Now the conditions. The person claiming the refund has, during any period of 5 years immediately preceding. Now, in the last preceding, like suppose if you are claiming a refund as on today. So in the preceding last 5 years to which the refund relates, the person should not have been prosecuted for any offense under the act where the amount of tax evaded exceeds 2.5 crores. Now, if the proper officer is satisfied after examination of the claim, he can make the final order for the sanction of the refund. Interest, yes, definitely they are going to pay you interest at the rate of 16%. And on provisional assessment, they are paying at 9%. So in additional to your refund amount, you will also get an interest of 6%. Then adjustment against demand by the refund sanctioning officer. Now, the refund officer empowered to adjust the amount sanctioned against any outstanding. Now, in the previous years, say in the previous year, now if you are claiming a refund for 18-19 and in the year 17-18, if you are found that you have to be paying a certain sum of taxes, then they will adjust those taxes and they will pay you the balance. Now, withholding of refund by the refund sanctioning officer. In what case? Now, the officer, there are various reasons for he can withhold your refund. That is for not furnishing the return properly or not paying the taxes, interest or penalty which is required to be paid if not stayed. So in these cases, refund may be withheld till the furnishing return payment. So first they will ask that certain balances left, you pay that, and after that they will sanction the refund. Withhold of refund by the commissioner. The commissioner may also withhold if he is of the opinion where an order giving rise to a refund is the subject matter of an appeal or any other further proceeding is pending. Then in that case, if he thinks that this is adversely going to affect the revenue of the state or the country, then in certain cases, then he may also, in that case also, your refund will not be sanctioned. Unjust enrichment. Now the claimant has to establish that the evidence of tax or interest has not been passed to any other person and only borne by him by way of documentary evidences. Now, you have to show that no other person is claiming the equivalent refund. Like you are also claiming and your supplier is also claiming. Both of you cannot claim the same refund. Only one person. So in that case, the principle of unjust enrichment will come into play. Now, unjust enrichment is not applicable in the respect of refund on account of export or excess balance in the electronic cash ledger. That you can withdraw it. No refund if the outward supply is exempted or nil rated. No refund of unutilized ITC if export goods is subject to export duty. Now, if the government feels that this particular item should not be duty free, so it levies a duty on that. So if a government has levied an export duty on that, then you cannot claim a refund on such goods. Now, refund sanction shall be credited to the Consumer Welfare Fund by default, first of all. And it is an amount which is held by the government without the authority of law. Now, it is established that the claimant has borne the incidents and not passed into others. So only when they are satisfied, they will transfer the refund amount from the Consumer Welfare Fund to your bank account. Now, payment to the applicant. Now, instead of crediting to Consumer Welfare Fund, the refund amount can be directly paid to the applicant. Now, in the following cases, suppose if you have done an export zero rated supply, if you have paid taxes on input of input services used in the making of zero rated supplies, unutilized ITC, or if you have paid tax on supply that is not provided wholly or partially and no invoice is issued to that extent for where refund voucher has been issued. Okay, now no refund of ITC shall be allowed if the supplier avails of drawback of central tax or claims. Now, if you're already taking the drawback, then in that case, you are not eligible for the GST refund. You can claim only one of it. Now, no refund if the amount is less than 1,000 rupees. Now, suppose if you have a refund application and if your amount is less than 1,000 rupees, then you cannot claim a refund. Now, the authority for sanctioning is the Deputy Commissioner or the Assistant Commissioner. Now, both center and state tax officers are empowered to grant refunds. So sometimes if your file is allotted to the central government, you will get refund from there, and for that CGST amount, and for the state, from the state, you will get it for the SGST amount. Now, issue of deficiency memo. Any deficiencies are notified by proper memos and to the applicant in the form GST RFD 03. Now, through the common portal, require him to file a fresh refund application. Now, if you have filed an application, and suppose if you receive a RFD 03, that means your application is cancelled. There's a deficiency memo and you have to file a fresh refund application. Now, along with now how do you have to file the application? Certain documents are required while filing the refund claim. Now, a statement containing the number. And now, in case if you're having an export, so you will have to provide with the number and date of the shipping bill, the number and date of the relevant export in case where the refund is on account of the export of goods. Then in the case of export, you also have to give the date of invoice and the relevant bank realization certificate or foreign inward remittance certificate, as the case may be in the case of export of services. Now, a statement containing the number. Now, if you should also have the number and date of invoice along with the evidence regarding the endorsement by the specified officer of the zone, as the goods are authorized operations when you are supplying goods to the SEZ unit. That time, the number and date of invoices. Now, evidence is also required. A declaration. What is that evidence? Now, declaration that the SEZ unit or the SEZ developer has not availed the input tax credit. So, two people, as we said, cannot. So, if the SEZ person has not claimed the refund, only in that case you are eligible to the refund. In the case of account of supply of goods or services made to SEZ. Now, a reference number of the order or a copy of the order passed to the proper officer or appellate authority or court resulting in such refund or reference number of payment of the amount. So wherever you have received an order for a certain refund from an appellate authority, or if any assessment order has been passed in favor of you, so you have to mention that appellate authority order number or the reference number for that. Now, reference number of the final assessment order in the case of provisional assessment where you have received the order. So you have to mention that when you are filing the refund in the case of provisional assessment. Then a self-declaration is sufficient that the incidence of tax is not passed on to other persons if refund claim is less than 2 lakhs. Now, however, in certain cases, a certificate in Annexure 2 of Form GST RFD 01 needs to be issued by a chartered accountant or a cost accountant to the effect that the incidence of tax, interest, or any other amount claimed as refund has not been passed on to any other person in a case where the amount of refund exceeds rupees 2 lakhs. So you have to give certain number of undertakings to the government that there are no criminal proceedings against you. You have not claimed this same refund with any other authorities. And you are claiming, this is the first time you are claiming the refund with the GST department. So there are a few undertakings which the department has mentioned, and you have to write them on your letterpad and submit that to the authority. Now, CA certificate is not required in the following cases: where the refund of tax paid on zero rated supplies of goods or services or both, where the refund of unutilized ITC, in the case of refund of tax which is paid on supply, which is not provided either or wholly, for which invoice has not been issued, that is like a refund voucher, and the tax or interest is borne by any other classification. So if any other applicant has borne, then in that case, you cannot give this, you should not give the CA certificate. Now, refund versus deemed exports. For SEZ versus deemed exports. Now, let us see what is the difference. Now, as per the provisions of Rule 89, in case of supply to SEZ units, the developer, only the supplier can claim refund as the recipients are treated as outside country. Now, as for deemed exports, as per the third proviso of Rule 89(1), in case of deemed export, advance license, EOU, or which is EPCG, etc., both recipient and supplier can claim the refund in the case of deemed exports. However, in case of supplier, he has to produce declaration for non-availment of ITC from the recipient. So this is the major difference that we see, that for SEZ, deemed export, even the supplier or the recipient, anyone can claim the refund. Okay, now let us look at the time limit to grant refund. The proper officer should issue refund order within 60 days from the date of application, complete in all aspects. That is RFD 03 deficiency memo versus the RFD 02 acknowledgement. Now, RFD 02 acknowledgement should be issued now within 15 days once the application is found to be complete upon his scrutiny. So when you file your application, you are filling it in RFD 01. It goes to the officer, and if he is satisfied, he will generate an RFD 02. If he is not satisfied, he will generate a RFD 03 along with the deficiency memo. Now, RFD 03, that is why it is highlighted in red here, that we can see. Deficiency memo requires submission of fresh application for rectifying your errors or the omissions or the mistakes that you have made. Within a time limit of 60 days, again, you have to file a fresh application. Now, even if RFD 03 deficiency memo is issued under SGST, it will have the same statutory effect under the CGST Act or the rules. The rules remain the same. Now, the taxable person has the following options. First of all, he can export of goods on payment of IGST and then claim the refund. So firstly, suppose if you're doing an export, what you can do is you can pay the IGST and then claim the refund. The other option is export of services on payment of IGST and then claim the refund. The third option is that export of goods or services without paying of IGST under LUT, that is letter of undertaking, and claim the refund of ITC. So these are the following options. Now presently refund module is not available in ACES GST for GST officers to process the claim. It is being manually processed as per board circular number 17 of 2017. Okay, now let us look at the refund procedures. Refund. Now there are exports, then other than exports. exports with payment of IGST and without payment of IGST. Refund forms. Now let us have a look at the following refund forms. First form is RFD 01, that is the refund application form. Then the manual form is 1A. Then RFD 02 is the acknowledgement of refund application the officer is going to send you. Then 03 will be the notice of deficiency on application for refund. 4 will be provisional refund sanction order. RFD 05 is the payment advice. 06 that your refund is sanctioned or the rejection order, whichever. Then RFD 07A if the order for complete adjustment and the claim refund. RFD 07B order for withholding the refund. Now if your refund is holded. Now in the case of rejection of refund application, RFD issue notice is given under RFD 08. If you have to furnish a reply against the issued notice, you have to give it in the form RFD 09. Then the refund application form for embassy and international organizations is under RFD 10. And furnishing of bond or letter of undertaking for export of goods, that is RFD 11. So if first you need to take your letter of undertaking for export, that is you have to fill up RFD 11. Now refund procedures for export on payment of IGC. Now IGST, if you have paid the IGST and then you want to claim the refund, the file now this thing filed by the exporter shall be deemed to be an application for refund. Filing of the correct EGM or the export report. Then you have to do the filing of details of the relevant export invoices contained in table 6A of GSTR1. You have to file all these details correctly. You have to mention your EGM number. Now filing of a valid return in GSTR3 or GSTR3B. So if you are claiming a refund for the goods which you have exported by paying the IGST, you have, when you're filing the return itself, you have to enter all these details. Now by following the above said procedure, the system designated by the custom you can claim an amount equal to IGST paid in respect of such export shall be electronically credited to the bank account of the applicant. You don't have to make a separate refund application for that. In this case, when you're making an export by payment of IGST, the refund will be credited to the bank account of the applicant directly. Now I'm not going live as our member Jatin Bhai had done it that day. I being an advocate, I'm privileged to have not a GST number. So I have taken some screenshots. So this is the GST website where you will log into www.gst.gov.in. So I'm just showing you, like, this is regarding if you have to, how you're going, if you're making an export by payment of IGST, the procedure. So you log into the website. Then, as we see here, under table 6A of form GSTR1, we need to fill in all the details. We have to click on file returns and then we go to table 6A of form GSTR1. Now here, if there are no invoices to be displayed, if you've not made any IGST payment, then in that case you can initiate a nil filing. But in case if you have paid IGST, then in that case you will click here on add details. Once you click there, this will take you to the form where here you will have to fill up the invoice number, invoice date, the port code, whatever is the port code, then the shipping bill number or the export number, shipping bill date, export date. Then the supply, it is interstate. And GST with payment of tax. You have to click on that. There's a drop down which will ask you it is with payment or without payment. So only if these details are filled in properly, you are eligible for a direct credit of refund into your account if you have done an export with the payment of IGST. So even if the port code is missing, if one of the things is missing, it will be a mismatch and your refund will be on hold. Here, then here you have to mention the taxable value of your export here. And then this is the amount of integrated tax. And you have to save. So when you click on save, then it will take you to the next page that your request is accepted successfully. And you'll see this is your demo, which is shown here, that this is your invoice number, which you had filled. This is the invoice date. This is the GST payment that you had dropped down, clicked with payment of tax. Then the total invoice value, total taxable value, and this is the integrated tax that you have paid on it. And then further, you will have to click on file return. Okay, I have filed the correct information in GST return. Same thing that I said, but my refund is still not sanctioned. So now in cases where the exporter has filed correct information in GST returns and it gets successfully validated, then it is therefore transmitted electrically to the customs system, whether GST return data is matched with the shipping bill data. Now there is a IceGate site for exports. So if they are going to match that data along with that, so if that matches, then your refund is granted. But wherever the matching fails on account of some error, the refund do not get sanctioned. Now mismatch of data and error codes. So these are the codes that you will get, that your refund has been not allotted to you in certain cases. Now these are the codes. Now errors can happen in what forms? Successfully validated, like say SB, you will get this code. That means you have done it properly. It is validated. Now, invalid shipping bill details. If you get an error, say SB001, that will mean that you have the shipping bill details are invalid. 002, EGM not filed. 003, if your GSTN doesn't match. 4, record already received and validated. If you have done it once, again, it's not going to be done. If invalid invoice number, then the error under 005. Then the gateway EGM is not available. Sometimes you have done your export and your clearing agent has done the things, but then the EGM number is not reflected on the site. So even in that case, your refund will be on hold. Now this may occur due to mention of wrong shipping bill number furnished in GSTR1 or table 6A, as we said. Now the possible reason for mismatch could be a clerical error made by the exporter at the time of filing GSTR1. So you have to ensure that your details are properly filled in GSTR1 table 6A. And then this can be rectified. So now again, if your refund is, if you got this error, you have to rectify by making an amendment in GSTR1 by using the form 9A. Then the exporter has to approach their shipping line or the airline carrier to file the EGM immediately. And now in the case where error is 003, the error occurs when the GSTN declared in the shipping bill does not match. Now sometimes in your shipping bill, you have mentioned the wrong GSTN. Now, instead of AA, you have written, instead of 1Z1. Now this is a very common error. Some of them are writing 1ZL. So sometimes an error happens this way. In this case, the exporter has to make the necessary changes in GSTR1 and amend it. Now 004, where the error occurs due to duplicate or repeat transmission of shipping bill. Now if you have got the shipping bill same number twice, so the previous transmission would have already been validated for IGST refund. 005, when exporter is required to enter in the invoice column while filing the shipping bill pertains to the invoice issued by him, the invoice number shall be matched with the GSTN to validate the export and the IGST payment. Now they're going to match your GSTN number with the payment that is made. So there should not be any difference between the commercial invoice and the GST invoice. IGST is to be paid on the actual transaction value of the supply between the exporter and the consignee, which should be the same as the one declared in the commercial invoice. Now it is due to data entry mistake. This may happen in the GSTR1 and it can be amended in form 9A. Now for these cases, a mechanism is being considered by the board to make the requisite corrections manually in line with the recent amendments. So the government is trying in every way that you are able to make these amendments. Now, in case of exports under the gateway, the EGM is not filed electronically or it contains some error. The response is given to you by 006. It is noticed that the gateway EGM is in case of many ISD shipping bills have been manually filed, leading to such refunds not being processed. So the exporters can approach their shipping line to file the EGMs electronically. You can contact your agent for that. Now, refund for export of services. This was all about goods. Now we talk about services. A statement containing the number. Now for this, you will need the number and date of invoice and the relevant BRC or the FIRC, the Bank Realization Certificate or the Foreign Inward Remittance Certificate. So how do you claim refund on the export of services? Supplies goods to SEZ or SEZ developer. An application shall be filed by the supplier of goods after such goods have been admitted in full in the SEZ, endorsement by the specified officer of the zone as the goods for the authorized operation. Now, if you have supplied services to SEZ, an application shall be filed by the supplier of services along with such evidence regarding receipt of services in SEZ. Same endorsement will be given by the officer. Now, deemed export. Now, in the case of deemed export, an application may be filed by the recipient of deemed export supplies or the supplier of deemed export supplies. Now, an undertaking by the recipient that no ITC on such supplies has been availed by him. So, if you are the supplier, you have to take an undertaking from the recipient that he is not going to claim the ITC on that. An undertaking by the recipient that he shall not claim refund in respect of such supplies, and the supplier may claim the refund. Only one person is eligible to claim the refund. Now, an acknowledgement by the jurisdictional officer of the advance authorization holder of EPCG that the deemed export have been received by the advance authorization holder. A copy has to be forwarded to the officer, duly signed by the recipient EOU. Now, if you have made supplies to SEZ on payment of IGST, in that case, an application shall be filed in the form RFD 01. Now here, like as in the goods, we could claim for a refund directly by filing the return in GSTR 1 table 6A. In the case of supplies to SEZ on payment of IGST, you have to make a manual application in the form RFD 01 in the refund section on the portal, and printout of the same form needs to be sent to the jurisdictional tax officer. Now, in case not assigned to any authority, the taxpayer can file with any one of the authority taking an undertaking. Now, documentary evidences as per statement 2 or 4 of annexure to form GSD RFD 01. Filing of details of the relevant export invoices. You have to file the detailed thing. Now, GST refunds on export. Export without payment of IGST. Now, in this case, form RFD 01 is filed on the portal and the amount claimed gets debited in the electronic credit ledger. Now, there is a generation of ARN number for the proof of debit. An application shall be filed manually with the jurisdictional officer with the printout of form. Now, once you have made these applications, you need to take the signature of the client or the person who's exporting, and all the documents need to be submitted to the officer. And there is also filing of statement 3 or 5 of annexure, which will mention all the details of export, your EGM number, your shipping bill number, everything will be mentioned in that statement 3. So let us look at that. Now we are having it here that we are doing an export without payment of IGST. Now we go on the website, RFD 01, without payment of integrated tax. Now here, when you click on refunds, new application, we will see that there are lots of options here. So here we are going to click on refund of ITC on export of goods and services without payment of integrated tax. You click on the create and then you have to enter the financial year for which you are claiming the refund. and select the month for which you are claiming the refund. Now, if you have for the period say 17-18, now if you have to claim a refund for the month of October, so but for initially you will have to click on the month of July, then they will ask you, is there a refund you want to claim? You say no, and then it will proceed like it's a nil refund. Then same thing. So until you do it for the preceding months, you will not be able to file it for the month of October. Then the computation of refund to be claimed, statement 3A, you are going to fill up all the amounts. Refund claim will be shown here, how much you are eligible under IGST, CGST or SGST. Then there's a drop down window here where your bank account number will be verified for refund. And then you have to save, and there's a declaration which says that I declare that the goods exported are not subject to any export duty. I hereby declare that I have not taken any duty drawback on goods or services or both, and I have not claimed refund of the integrated tax paid on such supplies. So until you click on the declaration, your refund will not be proceeded. And then you have to save the application. Now, refund of unutilized credit. In the case of zero rated, refund amount. Now let us see what is refund amount. Here in this case under LUT, the letter of undertaking, refund amount will be calculated as turnover of the zero rated supply of goods plus your turnover of zero rated supply of services, multiply the net ITC that you are going to get it, divided by adjusted total turnover. Now, what is refund amount? That means the maximum refund that is admissible. Net ITC means the input tax credit availed on inputs and input services during the relevant period. Turnover. Now, let us see, there are a few things, concepts defined here. Now, turnover of zero rated means the value of the zero rated supply of goods made during the relevant period without payment of tax under the bond or letter of undertaking. Turnover of zero rated supply of service. Now this means that the value of zero rated supply of services are made without payment of tax or bond. Now if you have not taken a bond or not taken a letter of undertaking, then in that cases, zero rated supply of services is the aggregate of the payments received during the relevant period for zero rated supply of services, and zero rated supply of services where the supply has been completed or if the payment has been received in advance and then you have supplied the services. In any period or the relevant period, received or supplied services for which the services have not been completed during the relevant period. Now, adjusted total turnover. This is really important. This means the turnover in a state or a union territory as defined and the value of exempt supplies other than zero rated supplies under the relevant period. Now, in this case, section 89(5) also says that the refund on account of inverted duty structure shall be granted as per the following formula. Now, in GST refunds, they have given you, it's not like a sale tax refund that you file your 501, putting all your entries here. Now, your specific calculations need to be done while processing GST refunds. Now, in this case, their maximum refund amount is the turnover of inverted rated supply of goods, multiply net ITC, divided by total adjusted turnover, minus the tax payable on such inverted rated supply. Now, inverted rated supply is like, suppose if you have sold certain goods at 12%, and you have purchased those goods at 18%. So in that case, there's a difference of 6% that you have paid more while purchasing. So you can claim a refund of that. Now, turnover of zero rated supply can be calculated this way. The payment received during the period for the particular services, then payment received for the supply which has been completed for which the payment has been received in advance, minus the advance received on those services which are not completed. So this is how you are going to calculate the turnover for zero rated supply of services. Now, refund procedure, excess balance in electronic cash ledger. So first, what you have to do is log into the portal, go to refunds, make an application for refund. As I showed you, same way, create an application. There are drop-down windows. So there it will mention, select refund of excess balance in electronic cash ledger and click on create. I've given you the steps here, so you can do it accordingly. And then create in the above step, a screen will appear reflecting all the balances in the electronic cash ledger. Then you have to select the bank account from the drop-down and then save. Then the officer can see that and he will process the claim. See here, this is the option. When you go click on refunds, make application, click on refund of excess balance in electronic, create. This will reflect here and the amounts here, and then you can see this drop down, confirm your bank details and your refund will be processed. Now export on payment of IGST. Now manual filing and processing. Now anything, notwithstanding anything contained here, an application for electronic filing, intimation, declaration, statement of electronic issuance of a notice, order or certificate on the common portal shall in respect of the process or procedure include manual filing of the said application. This is in relation to statement of issuance of the said notice or the order or certificate in such forms. Now we will see that there are certain amendments which have taken place. I think that was all on the refunds thing. Now let us look at what new amendments have come and how they are beneficial to us. Now exporters of goods or services are both eligible to claim refund of taxes for the procurement of goods and services. Now when exporters export goods under LUT, the refund amount was to be determined on the basis of FOB value or zero rated. So first they used to take the value based on FOB or the zero rated supply. Now, however, an amendment has come from 23rd of March 2020. It is further provided that the value of zero rated supply of goods equals to FOB value zero rated, or which is 1.5 times the value of the likely goods domestically supplied by similar supply. Now they're going to compare. If you have claimed 90 lakhs, the value, and if the similar value with another supplier is 60 lakhs, then you will be eligible for a refund on the taxable value of only 60 lakhs. So whichever is the lower of it. Now such provision is introduced to curb the practice of exports with over invoicing in the international market and thereby claiming higher amount of refund. Now exporters of goods are eligible to claim ITC on taxes paid on goods and services which are exported by them. Now, however, if the exporter fails to realize the export proceeds, whether full or in part, within a time period of 12 months. Now, this is the amendment that you have to receive your whatever you have exported. Say this month, in the month of, this is the month of April, and you have done your exports now. So before the end of March, you have to receive your payments allowed under FEMA, including the extension of time period, if any allowed by FEMA. Then exporter have to refund the amount to the extent of non-realization of sale proceeds. So the whatever amount you receive after 12 months, you will have to pay the IGST on that. Now, if the sale proceeds or any part thereof is not realized within the stipulated period under FEMA, but Reserve Bank of India writes off the requirement of realization of sale proceeds on merits, the ITC refund amount would not be recovered from such exporters. If the Reserve Bank has written it off, then it cannot be claimed from you. Now, if the exporter realizes that the export proceeds after the amount has been recovered from him, he has understood this, then he has to submit the proper proof of evidence of realization of such export proceeds within a period of 3 months from the realization of proceeds. So he has to give a proof that he has received the proceeds. So this is the recent amendment that now exporters will have to submit this to. Now, if the sale proceeds, now this is a very important amendment which has come, that a registered person may on the common portal transfer any amount of tax, interest, penalty, fee or any other amount available in the electronic cash ledger under this act to the electronic cash ledger in integrated tax, central tax, state, union, or in any other form, he can transfer. Now, every taxpayer, it can be assessed via the GSTN portal once it is successfully deployed on the GST portal. Now, when the payment is made under the wrong head, it can be changed later. Changes can be done before utilization of the amount. Well, that was all for me for the refunds things. Now, I just have a little, as we have seen that everybody on Zoom has been really, just a minute, I'm just connecting with the screen, yeah. Has been really active with friends and families online, here, abroad. So through this media of Zoom and online, today, let us have something educational. We're going to just play a quiz here relating to the GST refund. I want all of you to participate in that. Yes. So we just have a few questions for you. And you will get 10 seconds and you can paste your answers on the chat. The options will be given here. Now let us start. So are you all ready? Maheshji, are we ready?
Yes.
Yes. So you're the first. So now we are just playing the quiz on GST refund, right? First question now here. A registered person can claim refunds. Any unutilized input tax credit on zero payment of inverted tax rate structure. Now, your options are at the end of the tax period, the expiry of 2 years from the relevant date. Person, when can he claim refund of unutilized tax credit for the zero rated supplies he has made without payment of tax, that is on LUT basis? When can he claim? The question is at the end of tax period, but before the expiry of 2 years from the relevant date, before the expiry of the tax period, before the expiry of 3 years from the relevant date, and your last option is before the expiry of 18 months from the relevant dates. So your time starts now. You're going to take 10 seconds. You can post your answer on the chat box. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Mr. Atul Popat, Ms. Seema Hasrajani, Nilesh Deshpande, and I can see a lot of people have opted for the option A. So let us see whether that is the right answer or no. Sorry, Ratso, there are no lifelines. Yes, so let us see what the correct answer is. Sahi jawab is A. So let's have a big hand for all the winners. So let's move on to the next question. Okay, now the question is, Messrs. Sunlight Associates is a management consultancy firm which is located in Delhi and has certain foreign clients to whom the firm provides business support services. Now this firm is providing support services. In regard to this, the foreign clients, certain services were rendered in the month of January 18. Now the services were rendered in the month of January 18 and the invoice was duly raised. The firm undertakes such export of services against letter of undertaking without payment of integrated tax. Now this firm has made the export of services by LUT. Now, however, it is likely that the payment against such invoice would not be received till March 19. So now, is Mr. Sunlight Associate required to pay integrated tax? So the question is, first question is that is Messrs. Sunlight required to pay integrated tax on such transaction if the payment is not received till March 19. And in case if the integrated tax is payable, then Messrs Sunlight entitled to claim refund on this account. Now state which of the following options is correct. I hope the questions are clear. That first is whether Sunlight Association is required to pay integrated tax, and if it is paying the tax, can it claim a refund of that? So your options are. Why is the slide not moving?
एक फोन करतो तुला, एका मिनिटात फोन करतो परत.
It's not moving further. What is the problem? Yeah. Okay, so let us look at the options. That integrated tax IGST is payable by Messrs Sunlight. Refund of payment of such tax is not allowed. Second is integrated tax is payable by the foreign client and Messrs Sunlight can claim ITC of such payment made. Third is integrated tax is payable by Messrs Sunlight and refund of payment of such tax is allowed. And the last option is integrated tax is not payable and refund of accumulated ITC is allowed. So your time starts now. You have 10 seconds to answer. Yes, so the correct answer, as I can say many of you all have given, is C. Integrated tax is payable by Messrs Sunlight Associate and refund payment of such tax is allowed. He can claim a refund of that. So we move on to the last question of the day, and this is Messrs Global Exports made the following supplies. Okay, the first question. Now, in this case, whether you have to determine whether the above mentioned transactions refund is available to Global Exports or no. It's a simple thing that these are the four circumstances given, incidences given, and you just have to name the incidences where Global Export can claim refund for Global Export is available or no. So let us see. The first one, export of taxable goods made on 1st June with payment of tax. GST return is filed in time. However, RFD 01 has not been filed. So in this case, do you think Global Export can claim the refund? So this is the first case. So you can start typing it. Your answer for that, if on one it can claim, then you'll have to. And the second one is export of exempted goods were made on 15 July under LUT. However, input tax credit in respect of manufacturing of such goods is rupees 50,000. Refund application is made under GST RFD 01 is filed on 30th April after the end of the financial year. So now do you think in this second case, GST refund is available to Messrs Global Export? Goods. Yeah. Now the third scenario, goods supplied to export-oriented units and return for the month of July 18 was filed on 20th August 2018. But however, the input tax credit in respect of such supply is rupees 26,000 and an undertaking was received from the recipient that it will not claim the ITC and the supplier may seek the refund. GST RFD 01 is filed on 1st December 20. And the fourth case, supply of service outside India were made on 11th August and payment was received on 10th October 18. ITC in this GST RFD 01 is filed on 30th of September. So now in all the 4 cases, jot down all you think Mrs. Global Export can claim. So your time starts. The last question. Come on, all of you all can just post your answers. Write your options 1, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, whichever you think in all the cases. Yes. So the options are, you think it's 2, 3, 4. It's 1, 2, 4 in this cases. They can avail the refund in 3 and 4 or in 1 and 2. Yes, do we have the answers? I can't access the chat box. Maheshji, do we have the answers? I cannot access the chat box. Okay, so the final answer is, in the first case, the second case, and the fourth case, the Global Exports can claim the refund. Now, as we see in the first case, the goods are exported, export is done on 1st of June, and RFD is not filed, but the return has been filed on time. Then the second case also, and in the fourth case. So the answer is B. In the first, second, and the fourth case, Global Exports can claim the refund. Thank you so much, everyone, for such a healthy participation. That brings to the end of my lecture. You all played it really well. Thank you. Maheshji, over to you.
Sorry, I was muted. So it's a triple bonanza. Your lecture means first is your lecture, then your presentation, and then even demonstration, so that it is like workshop. And for the first time in entire session of 7 days, there are question answers for the alertness of all the participants. Really, really great of you to conclude your session. May I request, Sejal, there are certain queries posed by some of the members in chat. So
the thing is, I can't access the chat box. I'm just.
So shall I read something?
I'm trying to access the chat box.
Mahesh can read.
So shall I read or?
1 minute. Let me check.
Mahesh, you can read the question.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I will read that.
Yeah, I can read that. Yeah. Now in the
Raj Shah first query is there.
In the financial year 18-19, the dealer has paid CGST and SGST on interstate sale of services 25 lakhs and reported it in 3B. However, it was reported correctly in GSTR 1 as interstate sale. Now, this mistake was observed in audit of 18-19. Now, the dealer subsequently paid IGST and reported this in September 19 return. How to practically claim the refund of CGST, SGST now? This happened with Delhi GST. The dealer stopped operations in 19 in Delhi and is now operating in Maharashtra from April 19. Now, in this case, the refund can be claimed in GST Delhi. It cannot be used or claimed in Maharashtra. It can be claimed in Delhi. It cannot be claimed in Maharashtra. Where is
Raj Shah is also.
Yeah.
If interest on delayed refund is not granted, appeals has to be filed or simple letter to the proper officer would suffice.
1 minute, sir. Yes, what is the question? Can you read that? I don't see that, you know. Yes.
1 minute. Huh?
Yeah.
If interest on delayed refund is not granted,
Yeah.
appeal has to be filed. Or simple letter to the proper officer would suffice. Whether appeal should be filed or a
So
simple
in
letter will
case
suffice.
if you have not received if your refund is not received by you, and if the RFD 06 has been already filed by the officer, in that case, see, either you will have to file a new application, or in that case, otherwise you will have to go in for an appeal. An appeal, you can always go in for an appeal for any discrepancies in the refund. This is a thing which very few people are aware of, that for the refund also you can go into, and then you can claim the relevant or the amount that is pending.
Or the query of Jatin said also, their refund below 1,000 is overall, or
I can't,
he
Mahesh bhai, your voice is not clear.
One question is there, Sujay Mehta. Are the assessment proceedings by department mandatory for all refund situations?
Yes, yes, all the assessment proceedings, because until they verify your documentation, they're not going to grant. Like as we said, only in the case when you're going to export by payment of IGST, only in that case you have to fill the proper return. That is in GSTR 1, in the table 6, you have to mention all the port shipping bill. All the details have to be entered correctly. So only in that your refund will be credited directly into your bank account. Rest in all the other cases, officer will verify your documentation, and they will take undertakings from you also. Because that is mandatory, that you have not claimed a refund anywhere else. It is very important for them to verify that.
Okay. Sujay Mehta, while doing casual registration, advance GST has to be paid? Question mark. What is the procedure to claim refund if casual registration is rejected by the department, as there is no user ID and password provided by department?
No.
Hello?
Casual,
Yeah.
you are talking about casual taxpayers?
Casual registration,
Yes.
advance GST.
Yeah, so when their registration gets over, they can claim a refund of that. They can file, there's a form for that, they can file that, and they can claim a refund for that.
No, my query is
query
that
is
my registration gets rejected.
Registration?
My registration gets rejected. So and I get a rejection order, but I have paid advance GST while doing the registration, as we need to pay. So how to claim a refund of that?
Casual registration, I have never come across this case. Really, but I don't think.
We will take
have Hiral answer that.
Sujay will study and let you know then.
No.
Yeah,
In this case,
if Jatin knows about
reply that on your mail. Definitely.
Jatin is telling something. Listen to
Sujoy, in this case, you have to apply manually to your assessing officer or to whom you have done things. Because since you have rejected your application, so you have rejection order and everything. So in this case, you have to apply manually to your officer, concerned officer.
Sujay, I need to know if the reason for rejection is what?
The reason for rejection is not proper documents provided at the time of registration.
Then you have a chance now. You can go and appeal or reapply for the registration.
No, yes, we have reapplied and we got another GST number. But the earlier GST, but
earlier GST you said that they have not got registration number.
So that payment challenge you can utilize over there also.
Yes, that's what I'm telling you.
But in case if you have paid extra, then in this is the case only you can apply refund manually.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
No, since it is in another state, so all that.
I do agree.
Yeah,
I do agree, but you have to do that way only.
Manually. Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Mahesh, question answer लवकर कर.
Sujay, don't stress much. We will take offline also, because as it is, they have tried to. Yeah, and another questions are there. How to claim how
Maheshji, your voice is not audible.
if goods are exported via courier? For claiming refund, we need shipping bill number, which is not available in case of courier. It will be available.
Maheshji, can you repeat? You are not audible.
Okay, so Mahesh, I will repeat that question. Is it okay with you?
Yeah, definitely, Jatin.
Okay, so the question.
How to claim refund if goods are exported via courier?
महेश, तुमचा आवाज बिल्कुल क्लियर है.
We need shipping bill number,
Mahesh,
which is not available in case of courier.
Jatin.
Yeah.
Can you read the question?
Yeah. The question, it is like that the goods has been courier exported through the courier. For applying the refund, we need a shipping bill.
Jatin, I will take Jatin.
So I am just taking
Jatin,
that way only.
Question that?
Yeah, I am reading the question. Hello?
Yeah.
Jatin, carry on. Na?
Yeah, okay. The question is like this, how to claim a refund if the goods are exported via courier? As we know that for claiming the refund, we need a shipping bill number, which is not available in case of the courier.
See, in case that you have to, even if you are making a courier, you are going to make an invoice.
But we require a shipping bill also, right? In this case.
Shipping bill, yeah, the air, which is the courier will be going by air, right?
Air freight will be there. No?
Yes.
So that air bill is also equally, like if it is going by air, then you have the air bill.
It will be combined then.
Yeah, it will be combined, yes.
So we have to get it from the airline.
You have to take the airway bill in.
No, otherwise to courier company.
In many of the cases, for refund, like as in the VAT regime also, when you make that statement 3 kind of thing, where details of sale registers are given, you have to mention the airway bill number and also the place to which you are exporting. Say if the goods are going to Hong Kong, then the airway bill number, they require that. Even the place, the port of destination is also required in such cases.
No, but madam, courier, when we are doing it through courier also provides airway bill and they give the copy of consignment of the air freight.
Yeah, they will also be giving that.
They give that.
Yeah, no. So those things can be feeded into your...
Yeah. Definitely that can be.
Okay. The next question is, in the financial year 18-19, dealer had paid CGST and SGST on interstate sale of a service.
We did this, Jatin bhai, this is over.
Okay. So the next question was...
They are giving. Yes, absolutely. Jatin, your query is...
I'm not feeling
that is over. Jatin bhai, your query is there. Can we amend the export data? Query is there.
No, my question was such like that. Okay, now the September is over, so that's okay. My query has been answered, so that's okay. So Sajal, the query was completed. So
Atul Popat has given one query. We can't amend GSTR 1 for financial year 17-18. So what to do? Can we claim export refund manually?
They are not accepting any manual things.
No, they are not accepting.
Okay. Yeah, Jatin bhai.
Yeah, the Maheshji, whatever the query was that in this case, since 2 years has been completed, so you cannot claim any refund because the refund period is up to 2 years. So 17-18 time by case has been happened, so you cannot claim any refund in this case. Kindly correct me if I am wrong.
Yes, definitely. You cannot claim it. And as far as GST is concerned, even the officers, they are not accepting any manual. Like apart from theory, talking from the practical that we all are practicing under GST, no officers are accepting any manual applications for any reasons. I know that in the wet regime, many of us have given 501 also manually for delayed applications. Sometimes a notice has been sent under 302 and then finally the officer says that you have not made this 501 application, and then again you resubmit the application. Sometimes the application is not seen on the portal. That regime we were supposed to, it was possible to give a manual application, but under GST, even if one document is missing, they are not even accepting your application. Like if you have taken a whole bunch of RFD 01, ARN receipt, all the export invoices, all the purchase invoices, and you tell them that, okay, now you're going to Mazgaon and you know the office so well and everything, you think now it is sorted, one document, एक document बाकी है, मैं आपको बाद में next time when I come, I will come and give it to you. They strictly say, madam, if there is statement 3 is not enclosed here in this, then we are not taking the application. आप दूसरी बार जब भी statement 3 लगा के and then at the time we will accept your application. So as far as GST refunds are concerned, and especially SGST, even try to say that next time I will come and give you the extra document, but I try it at the CGST level. Like if you go to Air India and all, they will not even accept your file and just send it back to you. They say, please come with a complete set of exact documents.
Yeah, that's the major difference that we have in VAT arena versus the GST arena.
Yeah, good. One last query, madam. What, Rohit Navani, what if exports are made without application of LUT and bond? Now, how to claim ITC refund, because department is asking for LUT and bond, and without that they are disallowing the claim. Is there any legal way to fight?
So he has made an export without paying IGST and without LUT and bond. Is that the question, that the export is made without paying IGST and without taking a LUT and a bond?
Hey, IGST must have paid that.
नहीं, IGST अगर pay कर दिया है, then he can he can amend the GSTR1 और उनका जो entry है, he can amend it there and he can enter all the details there along with IGST paid, including the shipping bill number, the invoice number, and the port code and everything. And in that case, he can amend his GSTR1 and then fill up the details, and then refund will be granted to him automatically. He need not have to apply for a refund application in that case.
Without he says that without the payment of IGST has not been paid.
Yeah, so in this case, I mean the officer. Okay,
I feel that
some of the officers have been really adamant and they make them pay the tax on that along with the interest. Few of them do that.
Okay. So with this, I am very grateful to you, and I request Sujoy Mehta to propose vote of thanks for your lecture, and then I will propose a formal vote of thanks for the entire session. So Sujoy, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh Conveyor. I have the privilege and honor to give vote of thanks to Advocate Sejal, a wonderful lecture on refund, and also making us understand the basics, covering all aspects, practical, theory. Also the quiz was an icing on the lecture. Thank you Sejal Shah, Chairman, President, Conveyor, all my committee members, and all the participants who have attended the coaching class for all 7 days. Thank you, Conveyor. You can take it over now.
Thank you very much. Let me put on record the special thanks to President Dinesh Tambre for allowing us to have this Mehta, Treasurer of the Alok Mehta, then Hiral Shah, Sujoy Shah, Kinchit Shah, all are helping us out in this. And let me put on the record all the speakers: Hiral Shah, Aditya Surte, Shantanu Bagwe, Ashit Shah, Ritesh Mehta, Jatin Cheda, and Sejal Shah. And they are going to give us the presentation as well as all this recording. We have done the recording of all the speakers, 7 speakers, and we are going to upload that on our GSTPM webinar website, YouTube website. YouTube, and that will be available to all those who have missed any part of it, and altogether all the our members and other people who are missing this in lockdown period, whatever lectures we have taken. With this, we conclude that, and we request even the chairman of the coaching class committee, Sunil Khushlani ji, to say a few words at the concluding session. Sunil ji. And Raj Shah also is there. Raj Shah? Hello? Raj?
Yes, Mahesh.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir.
You are also, almost we have completed all this. So as a valedictory session, we would like to have few words, because next year you are going to take the charge of JSTPM, and some good any.
अच्छा हो गया क्या इलेक्शन प्रोसीजर? मुझे पता नहीं था.
Mahesh, you are not supposed to say such.
Okay,
no comment on.
Okay.
Am I right, Raj?
Correct. It was a wonderful series, and at a very perfect time. So the decision taken by the committee conveners, chairman of the committee, was apt, which it was highly required. And I'm sure since with the help of Hiral, now we've uploaded it on YouTube, many members would be able to take advantage of this series. And this sounds boring, but again, I have been requesting all the participants to please become member of the GSTPM. And if they are already member of GSTPM, please